Hey guys, so this is another Who to Summon video, and this time around, we have some very powerful rerun heroes. My god, Gillian, people have been waiting for her to be summoned for so long. And also this guy, he's a freaking monster. I mean, yeah, freaking monster. And they're both in my top 10, so yeah, lots of good options here in this situation. But let's talk about Lawrence real quick. I did want to make an update video on her. However, first of all, I haven't found anything different from my original video, and I haven't found good footage on her. And when I do see her being used, I'm not really impressed. It doesn't really change the fight too much. Not enough to replace one of the older heroes in this situation, sadly. So I'm not going to do an update, but this, you could say that this is the update for her in that situation. Don't get me wrong, I do like Lawrence, however, Lawrence lacks a few key features that it's gonna make her not perform as well. Like for example, if it's only one target, it's not gonna be 50% damage dealt. It's not gonna do extra damage, and it's not gonna turn them into anything. So your team is just gonna raise damage dealt by 30% or receive 30% less damage, and that's it. That's pretty much all she's going to do in that situation. Then that is freaking sad. And that means in bosses, it's the exact same thing. And I understand why the developers decide to do this, because there's another blue hero that does these, and that's Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn already has Soul Link, one of the most powerful abilities in the entire freaking game. And if it's only one target, it's going to do 50% more damage dealt there in that situation. So yeah, I understand why they didn't want to put two heroes that have this ability in the same color, but that cripples Lawrence so freaking much. It's not even funny. And I've seen her fight in less than +5, and if you're fighting a Mildred versus Antia team, it's not going to be very effective, especially if it goes to 2x mana. It's going to be a lot of problems, guys, and turning Mildred into red is not going to help you a lot. I mean, Mildred is one of the heroes that people buff the most. Like I showed you in the last video, that one had 9 freaking gold badges. I mean, yeah, people love to upgrade Mildred, even if she's +1, +2. So yeah, in that situation, it's gonna cause a lot of problems for you if you have Lawrence, and that's one of the most problem defenses in the game in that situation. And then there's the whole situation, because I've been reading some of your comments, and one player actually dared to compare Lawrence to freaking Gillian. Oh my god. Oh yeah, so pretty much Gillian has everything that Lawrence lacked. So I mean, yeah, that's not a fair comparison. And Lawrence has not changed anything. It hasn't impacted the meta at all. Gillian, on the other hand, now that she's been available, if you didn't understand why Gillian is good, even at +0, you will understand now, because everybody's gonna have this hero now. You will suffer. You will suffer with Gillian's presence for sure. You will understand very soon. Now let's talk about Godunov. Godunov is one of my favorite heroes in the entire freaking game. I mean, there's fights that I use him that I'm not doing anything, and the enemy goes off and they die on their own. I was like, okay, that was fun. That was quick. So yeah, Godunov is definitely one of my top 10s for 2023, and for good reason. He doesn't need a realm to stun. He doesn't need anything. He just needs to not be stunned, and yeah, he's good to go. He'll destroy everything. One thing that you do have to take into account is fighting Mildred, and he counters Mildred when she goes off. One of your heroes may receive a lot amount of damage, so you have to keep that into account. Keep an eye on that. Because many times, if your Godunov is extremely strong and your other heroes are really weak, they may die from his counterattack. The damage being transferred from Mildred to that hero is going to kill him. So you have to take that into account. But other than that, Godunov is an amazing hero. He counters himself, if you can imagine. He counters so many heroes. He will help you defeat Mildred versus alien teams, even at +0. But if he's +5, he'll literally kill enemies with his counter in that situation. So he's a very powerful hero. It's not even funny. Even at +0, players love to use him. He's very useful, very powerful stuff for sure, guys. And last but definitely not least, ever since this hero has been released, she has been impacting the meta so much. It's so disgusting. I mean, now I'm worried about my arena because some players play red and they're really powerful red heroes, but they don't have Gillian because they decided to skip it at the time. I know they regretted it, and now they're going to take the opportunity to actually get Gillian and make my job a lot harder in arena for sure. So yeah, oh my god. I mean, I had her as my number one hero for 2023 as my top 10. So Gillian, I mean, I still can't believe somebody actually tried to compare Lawrence with Gillian. Gillian, unlike Lawrence, she has the Soul Link. Remember, Soul Link, you're going to hit a target, and the other target is going to receive the exact same amount of damage that the first target received. So this mechanic is able to beat pretty much every single taunt team in the game in that situation is able to. You have to take into account Tyron, because Tyron is going to reflect 100% of damage, so you have to be careful with that. But other than that, pretty much she's going to destroy every single defense team in the game. I don't know, the only way that I've seen like other defense heroes giving problem using Gillian is another Gillian on the other team trying to kill mine in that situation. So yeah, comparing Gillian with Lawrence is definitely not fair, because Soul Link, she's the freaking cleanser. Red has very few good cleansers, and Gillian is like the best cleanser, because the thing is that when you want to play a cleanser, you want to activate that hero first, and Gillian is the gold standard when you're attacking with red in activating first, cleansing the entire team, and when everybody else goes off, she destroys everything that is turned green in that situation, which is pretty freaking disgusting. It's not even funny, because remember that Soul Link is not just turning this hero is not exactly turning not just turning a target green, it's also adding 25% damage though, 50% additional damage though to that single target, because that's what Soul Link actually does. On top of it, turning that raises damage up by 50 freaking percent, and her Awakening is gonna raise it to 30% additional. I mean, yeah, and at plus freaking 5, she is an absolute monster. Her plus 5 prevents enemies from reviving, being immortal, and eliminate shields. So right off the bat, whoever she targets is not going to have shields starting the fight right off the bat. It's so freaking disgusting. It's not even funny. So yeah, very powerful stuff, guys, for sure. If you haven't noticed yet. So enough of that. Let's talk about the 4 stars. The 4 stars, Vita, I've talked about her before. I'm not really a big fan of her. Just giving defense is not enough for her to be relevant. Now, Ikebu, in very different situation. He's an amazing tank, especially with others of his own factions from Aetherith heroes. He's going to dodge, he's going to counter, he's going to heal, he's going to do damage, if you can't believe it. For a 4-star, he has a lot of powerful abilities. Very powerful stuff, guys. Highly recommended it, especially if you're playing free-to-play. Dylan, the problem with Dylan is he's actually slow, and he's not really doing much. I do love the character design of him. He's pretty cool looking hero. But in general, the only reason you're going to use Dylan is if you don't have any better options, which there are a lot of better options, and he's going to hold the whip because he is a string hero. That's the only reason you're going to use Dylan in that situation. And Lion, I've never really seen anybody use Lion. It's pretty much the same situation as Dylan. If you want a hero to actually hold the whip, you can. He is a slow hero, so it's going to be a problem. He does do a little bit of damage, but that's it. So yeah, I don't really recommend you going crazy with Lion. And finally, Kylie. Kylie is one of my favorite heroes. Not so much for her abilities, but more than anything, and she is such a wacky hero. She is so fun to play with. In the name of romance. I always enjoy her so much, but she's not really doing much. She is reducing healing and shield effects in that situation. The thing is that you really need to make her go off a lot for this to stack on a specific target, and Red is not exactly known for creating a lot of mana, so yeah, that's going to be a problem with her. So I don't really recommend you going completely crazy with her. However, if you like her and you enjoy her, why not? She is a really fun hero for sure. And last but not least, Carson. Carson is a really decent tank, very powerful tank, guys. Highly recommend it if you want to use him as a tank. He does revive and all that good stuff, everything that a good tank needs. So he's a good option especially if you're free to play. He's definitely a very good option for you for sure. And his weapon, I do like it because it does stack. The shield just keeps stacking that situation. So he's pretty cool. He's pretty awesome hero for sure. Now, who do I think that you should focus on? I mean, just by asking that question, it makes me. I mean, yeah. Gillian, guys. I mean, there is no questions asked for this hero. This hero changes your game so much. It makes, even if you have a crappy red team, she will make your crappy red team good. That's just how good she is. However, if you do have her +0, she is an extremely squishy hero, so try to put a good shield weapon on her. Because if not, she is going to die. So unless you really level her up really high, her weapon at level freaking 90 and things like that, I mean, yeah, and that situation you can give her own weapon. Her own weapon is pretty amazing, by the way. But if it's not that situation, give her a good shield weapon. I do recommend using Raphael's weapon because it does raise her defense by so much. But yeah, Gillian by far is the absolute best hero. She has impacted, destroyed, terrorized the meta for so long. It's not even funny. Some players have even become anti-Gillian and just focus their entire time in the entire freaking game on how to beat Gillian. I mean, that's how impactful she is, guys. I mean, if you think that Gillian is not the most priority hero in the entire game, even Arthur, even whatever you think, you gotta check yourself. You gotta check yourself. You gotta check yourself. For sure, it's not a coincidence that I repeated that 3 times. Because yeah, Gillian will change your game. And yeah, even if she's +0, guys, for sure. And even fighting versus Mildred, because Mildred goes off, she cleanses the damage transfer, and you're good to go. You're good to go to attack Gillian as if she didn't have the damage transfer, because she cleanses. So it's super important to play that in red, for sure, guys. I can't recommend this enough, guys, for sure. If there's any hero that is worth trying to +5, this is it. There's no other hero in the entire game that I can tell you, you can wait on whatever. This is it. If you don't get her as high as you can, you're going to miss out, guys, for sure. Now, my second option, Godunov. What I love about Godunov is you get him and he does everything for you. He counters, even if he's +0, he goes off and that's it. He creates shields right off the bat. He counters. It's pretty freaking amazing. So most of the defenses love to have Godunov around, and he doesn't need Realm to do his stuff. So yeah, he's gonna do a lot of things in that situation. So any of these two ones, even if you get them a +0, they're highly recommended to get. If that's what you're able to do, do it. I mean, these two heroes are freaking amazing, Gillian and Godunov. But if you want to focus on specifically one hero, it's definitely going to be Gillian. But Godunov is an amazing option. And once you get him to +5, he does so much freaking damage. It's not even funny. You can even put on a crit weapon like Lupita's weapon, and he'll do a lot of damage. It's not even funny. And he's one of the best whip holders in the entire freaking game, guys, for sure. Once you actually have the awakening to gain mana, yeah, he actually does. He's amazing. He's like one of the best whip holders for sure, no questions asked. And yeah, as I make close, as I already mentioned before, Lawrence is. Yeah, I'm still not seeing it. I haven't seen anything that'll prove me wrong that Lawrence is a worth hero to actually focus on, especially with these two monsters of options to actually choose. So yeah, I can't really recommend you to summon Lawrence. Sadly, I haven't seen her do what she actually needs. She would need to please be freaking +5 to actually suck all that mana in that situation. And even so, she's not hitting as much as Regalt. She's not being as effective as Regalt in that situation, and she's just as squishy as Regalt. So yeah, if there's a better mana sucker in the game, and Lawrence is not a very good hero in that situation. Sadly, I'm sad to say it, but When I like to recommend heroes, that if they're +0 and they're ready to go, that's it. But Lawrence is not that hero. Not at all, guys, for sure. Now, for my best options for 4 stars, like my number one option for sure is going to be a Kebu for sure. This guy, you can play around him. There's a team that I've showed before in the past that have Luna, him, and other heroes there, including other heroes that they can actually do there. He will do a lot of work, counterattack, doing a bunch of stuff that's going to be very useful for you guys for sure. Akebu as a free-to-play player is an amazing hero to have for sure. And finally, Carson for sure is another amazing hero. Amazing tank, amazing everything pretty much. He's a very powerful tank for sure, guys. Highly recommended. Demonstrator and all that good stuff for sure. And just an extra one, Kaylee is not an incredible hero, but I do enjoy to play around with her a lot. And her voice kills me for sure. So that will be my third option in that situation for sure, guys. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, please leave it in the comments and we'll talk about it. All right, thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.